Howdy, folks. How are you? How's the sound? And what have you been up to today? I've been watching more Sony animation sequels. I've only got a few left, and then I can start working on the actual ranking video. Yeah, not much left to go now. BPAC set is just came from a Puppet advert video. Hope you enjoyed it. Pseudo, for a second I thought I was late. Now I usually stream 8 PM UK time. I say UK time because we constantly change the name of our time zone depending on the season. Half the time I can't remember which one it is. I have to Google like which time zone are we in now, because it's Greenwich Mean Time and British Standard Time, I think. Evan, what are your favorite what YouTubers have inspired you lately? Drew Gonzalez, is it Drew? No, I just got them mixed up. Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez. How did I get them mixed up? Curtis Connor, and I've been watching a lot of Wait in the Wings, which is like a theatre YouTube documentary channel. Really good. It explores a lot of projects and how they succeeded or how they failed. What else? Coffee House Crime. Watching a lot of Coffee House Crime as well. Evan asks, I know that you think Kermit Swamp Movies is the worst Muppet movie, but does that mean it's downright awful? I have not seen it since I did the top 5 best and worst, which was like all the way back in maybe 2018, 2019. So my upcoming Puppet Panic review of it will be a new perspective, and I'll go into way more detail about the film, hopefully. Sounds good, excellent. Howdy, computer guy. Hi, Mr. Pearly. Howdy, Nick. BPAC, Sony, you poor man. To be honest, okay, so a couple of them have been like really bad, like F tier bad, but most of them I'm kind of like, I've seen worse. So it's not been that hard, if I'm honest, really. Cursed, hey Jam, I'm good. Just got back from my trip to Dubai. Ooh, that sounds good. Hope you had a fun time. What did you get up to in Dubai? Miss Burl, are you going to include Peter Rabbit 2 for the Sony sequel ranking? Nope, because Sony Animation had nothing to do with it. They were not attached to it. Basically, any film, it has to be a film with the Sony Animation bumper at the start of the film. Those are the films that would count. So Peter Rabbit 2 will not count. Luckily. Jack Hamilton, sounds good, James. Today I did my usual of visiting relatives and going to the pub. Hey! The most interesting thing I did today was something I didn't do. I was going to go to the gym, but then I saw the weather and was like, fuck that. What have you done today? Yet the weather's, especially the UK weather has been absolutely dreadful. I feel like 2 storms. I feel like we've had 2 storms back to back. I think we've had Storm Eunice, and it's just been awful. Just this constant, horrible wind and hail. It's like, I've hated it. Like I said, what I've done today is just watch Sony Animation sequels. That is it. I'm trying to watch the last of them. So what's your favorite song from before your lifetime and your favorite during your lifetime? I'm so old. I don't know which songs came before and which came during my lifetime. I don't know. I mean, like, my favorite song of all time is Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. I can't remember if that song's before I was born or after I was born. I really don't know. I feel like it's an 80s song. But yeah, that's my number one favorite song of all time. I don't really know when most songs have come out unless it's really obvious which era they're from. Like, especially like the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s. You immediately look at those music videos and like, yep, I know where that's from. Trying to find where I am in chat now. Jiggerbird, hello there. Nick, I just watched every available episode of the new Cuphead show, and it's an absolute delight. I've heard very good things about it, but because I've been watching Sony Animation sequels, I've not had time to watch it. Hopefully, I'll get around to watching it maybe next week. We'll see. Billy asks, hello Jammy, am I late? No, just in time. Jack Hamilton, I also turned 20 last Wednesday. Happy birthday to last week. Billy Mount, what about Goosebumps? Will that count? Yep, because Goosebumps 2 has Sony Animation at the beginning. what you have to remember is that with Sony Animation, it's like they're not just an animation company; they're an effects company as well. So like their band will be attached to live action projects where their animated effects are there. Which is why I find it kind of weird when people say like it's not animated. It's like, yeah, it's not fully animated, but there's animated characters there. The Smurfs aren't invisible. Kubiai, I'm finally home after being away for 2 weeks, but now I'm tired and the windy weather isn't helping. Oh, it's windy over there in France as well. Oh, bless you. Listy, we had 3 separate storms. 3! Ah! It felt like it. Chat's going too fast for me now. How do I scroll? Let me scroll. Miss Burley, did you ever see Titanic? I did at school, and I've not since. I've not seen it since when I was at school. BPAC, in quarantine, RM binge, watching Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and Gummy Bears on Disney+. Those are some great shows to marathon. Jickerbat, I have been thinking of watching Batman and the animated series. Do it! It's so good. It's so good. And after you watch the series, go watch all the straight-to-video animated films as well, because they're awesome. Kirst, Dubai. I went to the pool in my hotel, and my family and I went to the Burj Khalifa. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Which is the tallest building currently. Wow, that's awesome. I hope you had fun. Evan, in your opinion, which Sony animation movie is the funniest? It's kind of maybe a tie between The Mitchells vs. the Machines and Angry Birds Movie 2. Yes, Angry Birds Movie 2 is possibly... I'd probably put Angry Birds Movie 2 on my top 10 funniest films ever. After rewatching it, it's still friggin' funny as hell. I don't know why it's so funny, but like it's like Joe, it just kills me. Like my side split from laughter. Jikoban, did you watch any of the Batman cartoons? Yes, growing up I watched Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond. I think that's it. Jack Hamilton, what do you think of Billy Connolly? He is a legend, an absolute total legend. I mean, my dad is a huge, massive Billy Connolly fan and has his albums and his DVDs, his VHSs and all that kind of stuff. So growing up, just Billy Connolly was part of my household culture. Like, we used to watch Billy Connolly's travel show all the time. And it was just awesome seeing Billy in any films as well, particularly Muppet Treasure Island. So yeah, I love Billy Connolly. He's awesome, insanely talented, and it's very sad what happened to him. Yeah, it's kind of a downer that I never get to see him live. I would have loved to have seen him live. Senfusido, what is your least favorite digital effect? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean like any post-production effect at all? Because I don't really have one, if I'm honest. I can't really, as long as it's not too distracting, or like tonally doesn't work, because like I like my bad effects because they can be funny, and I like my good effects because they can help me get immersed in the project. So I don't mind if I don't really mind. So yeah, distracting effects. I don't like effects where it's so obnoxious or so bad that it's just in your face and it just ruins the experience. Millamount, what are your thoughts on Danish reviewer Eschball from Fiction Addiction? I've never heard of him, sorry. Nick, my top 2 favourite songs of all time are Push It to the Limit from Scarface, and the JXL remix of A Little Less Conversation by Elvis Presley. I love that remix. The new biopic with Tom Hanks coming soon. Yes, I've seen the trailer. Looks pretty good. The guy that guy that cast as Elvis just looks like Elvis. Like that to me, that's just Elvis. So it's pretty impressive. Evan, what is the most patronizing animated movie you've ever seen? I can't really think off the top of my head. I mean, a lot of the later Land Before Time sequels get to that point. Like, one of the worst things about the later sequels is just how condescending they are. So I'll probably go with them. Miss Burley, do you plan on seeing the new DreamWorks movie, The Bad Guys? It will depend entirely on if I have the time and if I have the money. My income is insanely low at the moment. So low that I can't afford my phone bill. So, we just have to see. Bill Mount, when you were at school, did you witness a naked Kate Winslet in Titanic? I did. Looking back, that is, when you think about it, that's kind of weird. I can't remember what our reaction was. I remember the first time in class we watched a film with swearing, and the whole class just turned to the teacher like, is this okay? Are you gonna we didn't even say anything. We just looked at our teacher like, look, this film was swearing. Are we allowed to keep watching? And the film was I think it was called Berlin and the Genie or something, with Alan Cumming and Lenny Henry. Really good film, by the way. Miss Burley, who do you think is the worst Don Bluth villain? I can't really think off the top of my head. There's not really nothing's coming straight to mind. Probably I remember the owl from Rockadoodle being kind of useless. Maybe I've not seen most Don Bluth films in a long time. Blue Mouse, did you think Angry Birds 2 was funnier than the first one? Oh, totally, 100%. The biggest problem with the first film is it's just so forgettable and average, which is why it's so mind-blowing that the sequel is as good as it is. Miss Burley, did you know that voice actor Tom Kane has retired? Yes, he is one of my Facebook friends, so I've sadly saw the updates as they were happening from relatives. Jigabaz, what do you think of Jurassic World films? I've not seen them, but I will hopefully be doing Puppet Panic films on both those films. Puppet Panic videos on both of those films. I'm going to do towards the release of Jurassic World Dominion. I'll do Jurassic World 2 and 3, and then I'll do the Jurassic World movies. That's the plan, to tie into them. Kirst, have you watched Bo Burnham's Inside? I've not seen any of Bo's work, if I'm honest. Simfudo, what would you do with a one-way time machine? Go to the future, but like I'd have to know when the future gets cool. Just a cool part. I want to go to the Futurama world. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I want to go to the Futurama world. Just looks sick. That's where I want to live. Evan, isn't your Patreon keeping your thing going bankrupt? The Patreon helps. The Patreon definitely helps, but you have to remember that, like, I don't get much income from YouTube, so I have to get a job from someone else as well, and the place that I'm working for at the moment, they're not giving me enough hours, so that's why my income is like gone down a bit. Like, I totally appreciate Patreon donations, and they definitely help in some ways, but you have to remember that I'm only getting about $50 a month, and that gets taken down a bit for Patreon fees, and then taken down a bit more for currency conversion to quid. So technically I just get 20 quid a month from, like 30 quid a month from Patreon, which can help go towards projects or like emergency stuff or groceries and that kind of thing. But you have to remember, I have to pay for rent as well. So yeah, it's a little, money is not going well for me at the moment, if I'm honest. Jack, this is kind of random, but would you have liked Akira Kurosawa to have made a movie with Bruce Lee? 100% yes. I don't know. There might have been a language barrier, though, because I'm not sure. No, Kurosawa did work with English actors, though, didn't he? Because I think he worked with Richard Gere and Martin Scorsese. So, yeah, there wouldn't be a language barrier. No, it could have happened. They could have worked together. That would have been sick. But I don't know what kind of film they made together, because Kurosawa's films were they were more human, more meditative, which you kind of see in some Bruce Lee films, but most Bruce Lee movies are very adrenaline focused, more focused on showing off the martial arts effects. Evening Train Lover. Miss Burl, have you considered doing a Puppet Panic in the Wizard of Oz? I don't think there is any puppetry in Wizard of Oz, is there? I can't remember any. I mean, are the monkeys? Are they puppets? I also don't remember any puppet characters from that film. Jack, also, what would a Godzilla film directed by Akira Kurosawa be like? I think he probably would have like taken it to like a different era of Japan. I think it would have like, and that would have been sick. Like imagine like a different era of Japan, like a period Japanese movie that focused on Godzilla, or like an ancestor of Godzilla. That would have been sick. That would have been really cool. But that's just a guess though. Drain Lover, any advice for aspiring filmmakers like me? I think when it comes to filmmaking, because I started when I was like 7, is just make stuff. Just make stuff. You don't have to release it. You don't have to take it too seriously. Just make things. And when you're starting off, make things for fun. Because when you get into filmmaking, you'll get to a stage where there's a lot more demand for like professionalism and for permits and all sorts of kinds of things that you really have to take into account. So for now, I'd say practice with friends that you can trust, friends you can rely on, and friends that will enjoy making films with you without them being paid. So yeah, practice. I know it's a really generic advice, but like, yeah, practice the hell of it. And the other thing to do is to study the masters. You really have to study the masters. That doesn't mean copy the masters. It means watch what the masters do. Look at their techniques. How do they convey things? How do they use the camera? What's basic editing skills? Those kinds of things are the things that you can learn from just watching the masters, like Kubrick, Kurosawa, and all that jazz. So yeah, hope that helps. Miss Perlin, I'm excited to see upcoming Futurama reboot in Hulu, and sad to hear about John DiMaggio not coming back. I mean, I don't know if I'm excited anymore now that John DiMaggio is not attached. Like, I'm kind of in the middle of like, like I've been wanting Futurama to come back for a long time, but knowing John's not going to be there, it's like it's going to be like a piece is missing. It's like being ordered like a really nice cake, but a slice is missing, and it doesn't feel right. Evan, what is causing your income to get this low? Again, my second job. I have a second job outside YouTube, and because of the pandemic, they're not needing me as much, because like not many people are coming to this place. So yeah, it's kind of out of my power. It's totally out of my power, and I can't really get any other jobs, because then I'll just end up like destroying myself mentally and physically, because I've already got enough work to do at the moment. So yeah, plus if I got another job, then the second job, they'll be like, why can't you come to this job? Because I've got this. So it's too complicated. So all I can do is just hope that I get more hours. That's all I can do for now. Hope for more hours. If you want to help me out, you don't have to. There's no pressure. Do not feel obligated. But if you would like to help me out financially at the moment, you can support me on my Patreon, or you can buy merch from my Redbubble, or you can join membership on my YouTube. I think there's some other stuff as well. That kind of jazz. You do not have to help though. Do not help. I'm not asking for help. It's pretty much in my hands. I'm an adult. But if you want to help, the options are there. Train Lover says, my work isn't giving me enough hours either. Yeah, it's a pain. It's a real pain. Like, I had decent hours before, like, not crazy hours, but like enough hours for me to be like, you know what, I can afford more than just my groceries and rent. Where am I in chat? Miss Pearl, for your income, have you considered investing in the stock market? No, because that's no. Sorry, but no, that's something I'm completely not interested in, and not what I want to make an income from. Jack, what is the best fight scene Bruce Lee did on film? Jeez, you know what? It's really tricky. I feel like some of his best work was from Game of Death, because that's where all his passion went into. But it's really hard to find like a decent version of his Game of Death fights. I mean, like his fight against Kareem in Game of Death is just like friggin' amazing, just because of the height. It's just crazy, and like how haunting lack of music there, and oh, so good. So I'm probably going for the Kareem fight. It was sick. It was totally sick. And Bruce Lee knew how to direct that scene so well. He knew how to take advantage of Kareem's height. Is there a movie that you liked as a child but now dislike as an adult, or vice versa? Yeah, there's loads of films I loved as a kid, and nowadays I'm like, no, that's not as good. Like Space Jam, stuff like that. Film, I kind of liked everything as a kid, so I can't think of any examples of films that I didn't like as a kid. Most of the films I didn't like as a kid were because they were boring adult films, or I didn't get them, or they were just shit films. So yeah, Evan, which YouTube reviewer would you like to have a crossover with? Just someone I can get along with. Like, that's something I've definitely learned over my career, is just, if I want to collab with someone, it has to be with someone that I'll consider a friend. Because collabing with someone for business-wise, it's just, there's something a bit cold about that. So nowadays, I'm only wanting to, like, collab with people that I've become friends with first. So if I was to collab with another famous YouTuber, I would like the friends stage to come first before, like, deciding, hey, let's make a video together. Because it's just not fun. It's not fun doing a project with someone where, like, you don't have any chemistry. Jacobad, speaking of Godzilla, do you think it would be cool if Studio Ghibli animated the Godzilla movie? It would be cool. I mean, Hayao Miyazaki himself was, he lent his voice to, like, I think it was like a kaiju, it was either like a kaiju film or a Godzilla film, like a short, like, special, like Hayao Miyazaki's voice is in it. So maybe he's interested in Godzilla, but I'm not too sure. I mean, if you look at like films like Princess Mononoke, the interest in kaiju is probably there for Miyazaki, so maybe. But I don't know what kind of film it would be. Very relaxed one for a Godzilla film. Train Lover, that's good. I've already made plenty of stuff. I feel my talents are ever improving. Yeah, just keep making stuff, and always take second. That's something I forgot to say. It's something really important. For a lot of my teenage years as a filmmaker, I would not listen to anyone else's, like, advice or criticism, and my ego got huge, and I just kept thinking, like, everything I made was perfect, and every time I uploaded something, I was just like, yeah, this is an artistic masterpiece. But over the years, I've realized you make better stuff when you've had some feedback, when you've had second opinions. Like, when I'm making a film, I don't jump straight into the script. I will spend maybe a year or two developing the story with my co-writer, Joel Hunt. We'll go over, like, so many different things of, like, how things can flow, how things can make sense, how the characters develop. We spend ages on that. Then I do the script, and then I pass him the script, and it's just this back and forth kind of thing. He adds things, I add things, we fix things up. So, like, yeah, second opinions, really, really important. Do test screenings with friends quite a lot before, like, putting stuff up. That can be a really, really helpful thing. Jack, how bad do you think the behind the scenes of Wizard of Oz was? I heard it was really, really, really bad, and the only nice person on set was forgot her name. Margaret Hamilton, who was the Wicked Witch. Yeah, the Wicked Witch was known for being, like, the nicest person on the set. She was known for just being a really lovely woman, and the only adult that was nice to Judy Garland as well. And, like, it's really worth checking out Margaret Hamilton's guest appearance on Fred Rogers' show, because a lot of people were kind of worried that the Wicked Witch scared kids too much. And Fred Rogers basically got Margaret on to say, hey, look, it's an act, it's a character. This is how Margaret plays the character. It's so sweet. You have to see it. Which video from 2021 took the most takes? I don't know what you mean by that, sorry. Oh, do you mean, like, reshoots? Because I'm trying to think what took the most reshoots, but I can't think off the top of my head. Sorry. Train Lover, I have 7 masters I'm learning from. I've taken James Cameron's masterclass course. Definitely take masterclass courses, absolutely. But be very picky about who you take masterclass courses from, because some of them will give kind of crap advice. Like, my co-writer tried R.L. Stein's thing, and his advice was like, copy other people. So, like, it wasn't very useful to him. Back, what voice acting roles did you get years back, and do you still do voice over / voice acting? I mainly got to do, like, just generic British voices, or, like, Harry Potter. A lot of people wanted me to do Harry Potter for, like, projects. A lot of projects that never actually got finished. or released. See, I just did like English voices. Like it's almost like a novelty to have a British voice in the voice acting community. So everyone just used me for those kinds of things. The biggest role I got, and I eventually turned down, was to voice the villain in the English dub of a German animated film. But then I read the script and I was like, this is just awful and offensive. I'm not putting my name to this. This is terrible. I told the director, he flipped out and it was like, oh, everyone's leaving my project. Yeah, because your script is shit. So yeah, in terms of still doing voice acting, I'm no longer auditioning because I'm very, very busy with YouTube at the moment. But whenever I'm making or coming up with a project, I will sometimes cast myself in a part, but I only cast myself in roles that I think I can do, and I'll even ask my producer, like, can I do this? I don't want it to be a vanity decision. I'm like, okay, could I play this character? Could I pull it off? And I'll send them a recording, and they're like, oh yeah, you could do that character. Like, for example, I'm working on my first ever feature-length animated film at the moment, and originally I was going to be the main character, but then my producer's like, no, you can't pull it off. And I was like, dang, who could it be then? So I'm going to be the robot. I'm going to be this giant robot character. Jack, did you watch that review of the Turkish Spider-Man movie I sent you? I'm afraid not, no. I've got a massive watch list of things that I need to catch up on. Train Lover, I'd love to make a Paw Patrol / Thunderbirds crossover movie during my playing career, which I plan to make the Muppets and miniatures the original Thunderbirds was known for. Would you do a pop-hunting video on it to should it happen? Unlikely, I'm afraid. Sorry, I tend to only, when it comes to making videos, I'm only going to cover things that lots of people are going to want to see. And it's nothing personal. I'm going to go for things that are going to get clicks. So I'm not going to cover independent stuff or homemade stuff. But definitely good luck to that. Definitely good luck to your project. But be very careful, because if you're going to use other people's properties, then there's a fine line there of like what you can do with those characters. There's going to be a risk of like maybe companies contacting you, so you just be very, very careful. Jack, do you mind if I share this fond memory I have of a girl I had a crush on? Go for it. Those kind of stories are cute. Evan, who is the most underrated voice actor in your opinion? Okay, this one's tricky. This one's very tricky, because I mean, like, I could say someone and everyone would be like, no, everyone really loves them already. Maybe Kavsosei, because like, yeah, she's kind of well known in the cartoon community, but I don't think well enough. Kavsosei or Mona Marshall. I think those two actresses, like, just people just don't give them the credit they deserve. Like, people know them, but I feel like every time people do like the big names, they forget those two people. Jigrabout, do you know your parents' favorite movies? I do. Okay, so my mum really likes Judi Dench and Maggie Smith movies. So I grew up watching loads of those. Like, Judi Dench was my childhood, and Maggie Smith was my childhood. She also loves she adores Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is her favorite film of all time. Yeah, I think those are the main things she watches. But she's also an environmentalist, so she watches a lot of environmentalist documentaries. And she's a history buff as well, so she watches a lot of history-related things. And she's interested in the monarchy, so she watches a lot of monarchy-related things. My dad, he watches, or he really likes sci-fi. He loves sci-fi. And he loves Bruce Willis. So, surprise, surprise, his favourite film is The Fifth Element. So he loves Bruce Willis movies, and he loves science fiction. He just loves Luc Besson and Bruce Willis. That's why Fifth Element is such a big deal for him. And my stepdad, I don't really know what he likes football, so he probably watches football films. Jack Hamilton, what director would you like Takeshi Kitano to do a collab with? Whew, I don't know, because Takeshi has a very unique style of acting, and it's very stoic. I'm not sure how another director could make good use of that. I feel like a European director would be like, know what to do with Kitano with his acting style. Like, there's a lot of Hollywood films that try to cast Takeshi Kitano, and they they clearly don't know what to do with him because he's got such a strange and profound way of like approaching his acting, and he's got a very distinct tick as well because of his motorcycle accident. So just people don't know what to do with him in Hollywood. So I feel like just give him to Europe, see what Europe can do with him. Miss Butler, do you hope that Blue Sky Animations will reopen one day? I hope so. They were on a roll. They were getting somewhere. They were really starting to get somewhere as a company. And then their shutdown was. But I don't think they will. I don't think Disney's interested in reopening them. They just want to milk their properties and just go to Blue Sky. Sadly. Drew Brown, have you watched any of Ip Man movies? My parents love those films. I've not seen them, no, but I do want to see them. I do definitely want to see them. Jack Hamilton, Kurosawa also worked with Russian actors. He did. I remember like one of his most iconic films was made in Russia. I'm going through his filmography right now. Yes, I forgot what the name of the film was, but yes, he made a Russian film before. Train Lover, rewatching my Redcliffe Railway Tales episode from season 1 has made me realise how crap as a filmmaker I was 4 years ago. And that's okay. And it's good to reevaluate yourself as a creative. It's really important to look back at your old work and be like, oh, whoa. But it's also a highlight to yourself to know, like, I'm getting better. I'm aware of how bad I was before, but I'm getting better. And it's good to know that you're progressing. So it's totally cool to be aware of, like, your old content. I mean, like, half my old films, I'm like, ugh. I tried watching a couple of my homemade teenage films the other day for a laugh, and I'm like, I just kept cringing. I was like, no, that's not how I'd direct it nowadays. Jack Hamilton. Margaret Hamilton also played the Wicked Witch in a now lost episode of Sesame Street. Oh, sick. Listy, if you could pick one area behind the camera to do, which would you pick? As in directing, camera work, Foley, scriptwriter. I'm most happy when I'm directing. I'm really at my happiest when I'm in charge. I've always felt like I'm a leader. I've always felt like I'm a boss. I really don't like following other people's orders. But at the same time, I do love acting for other people's projects. So like, there's a part of me that does sort of enjoy that process. But directing is the number one thing out of everything. I just love to direct. I really do. I mean, like, when I'm working on other people's projects, I'm constantly thinking, like, this is how I'd want to do it, and I wish I could do it like that. But, yeah, writing as well. I always like to write my own films. Make them more personal. Evan, I'm not asking that. I'm not going into Harry Potter. Train. So far, I've only taken James Cameron's and only half of Ron Howard's courses. Those are good. Definitely finish Ron's. Ron's will be good to finish. I can't remember who else. What other directors do masterclasses now? I really can't remember. Train Love, 20 years from now, I may be teaching my own masterclass course. That'll be sick. Good luck. Be back. Funny you should say Harry Potter, as my friend's brother wanted me to voice the Sorting Hat in this Potter themed party. Oh wow. I think it's Leslie Phillips, isn't it? Gryffindor. I mean, if you saw Leslie Phillips' Carry On films, you'd find it really weird that he does the Sorting Hat. Simster, what is your favorite future from a theatrical movie? I'm probably gonna be really basic and say Blade Runner. Maybe Blade Runner. I just love the look of Blade Runner. I think it's an amazing type of future. I think the future I'd want has not been done in a live action film yet. I feel like the only director that probably could pull it off is maybe Robert Rodriguez, and that's a weird pick, but like, I feel like he could add that. I'd like a future that's like a mix of being a bit campy but also a bit cool, and that is so hard to do. And I feel like Rodriguez nails that balance. Train Lover says, no, my poor Patrol/Thunderbirds crossover won't be homemade. It's an official production that will acquire the film rights for both source materials before production. That's going to be a lot of work. Keep in mind, that's going to be a lot of work. There'll be 2 different studios. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, it's not going to be easy. Because you have to convince both of those studios. You have to go for all these licensing. There's a lot involved. Just keep in mind, you've got a lot to go through. There's no guarantee. Based on what I'm saying, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to like get both of those both of those the licenses and studios to be like, yes, like a lot of work involved. Keep that in mind. Judah, what is your favorite fairy tale? Ooh, I'm probably gonna say Hansel and Gretel. I've always wanted to adapt Hansel and Gretel in some way. I just feel like there's lots of interesting stuff in Hansel and Gretel, because you got the sibling relationship, you've got the idea of a haunting forest and like the breadcrumbs leaving behind. There's so many great images, and like the gingerbread house, the witch being scary, the stepmother being a bit intimidating. There's so much there to work with. I'd love to do a Hansel and Gretel project. Jack, at prom, this is the story about the girl. At prom, I had already given her this plastic jewelry thing as a way to also remember me by. And when everyone was saying goodbye, we spoke before we went home and reached my hand intending to shake hers, but she either mistook it for me going for a hug or decided to hug me anyway, and we ended up hugging each other, and it's one of the most heartfelt moments of my life. That's so cute! I love it. That's adorable. Oh, very happy for you. Jack also asked, like Takeshi working with Werner Herzog. When did Takeshi work with Werner Herzog? Remind me. Definitely remind me. I can't remember. What did he do with Herzog? Same as you do. Has there ever been a piece of media where you didn't recognize an actor for more than 10 minutes? I don't know, because I'm usually, like, there's a lot of things I can't do, but one thing I can do is recognize actors. I'm quite good at that. So I can't think. Oh, dang it. I swear I had one the other day. Frick, who was it? I'm sorry, I can't think of any good examples. Jack, I know you've said your Horrid Henry out, but I'd like you to review the live-action Horrid Henry movie. I actually remember seeing that in the cinema when I was 8. At the moment, I have no interest in reviewing it, but if you're really insistent, then definitely support me on Patreon, and you'll be able to be rewarded with a review request. Be back. Hey mate, there's a YouTuber who used to work for Blue Sky, and he is amazing. You must search him up. His name is Kevin Temmer Toons. Ooh, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Jack, what do you think of Leslie Nielsen? Love Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen was a legend, absolute legend. He was just so good at like the dry style of comedy acting. And there's never gonna be another Leslie Nielsen. I can't even think of someone that's around today that does what he did, and just as good. Jack Hamilton, how weird do you think it is that O.J. Simpson is in the Naked Gun films? I watched the Naked Gun films knowing about O.J., and I was already like, this is weird. So yeah. Train. Yeah, I'm getting better. Next year I'm hoping to make a feature-length finale to Redcliffe Railway Tales. It'll be my first feature-length production. Awesome. And I want to make it as cinematic as best I can possibly make it, with green screen effects as well as smoke and other practical effects. Awesome. With green screen effects, you've really got to understand keying, so definitely practice some keying. Keying is like wrestling. And make sure your green screen has good lighting and it has a very flat surface, or you will go absolutely crazy when trying to key that thing. And smoke effects, I've never done smoke effects, but be very careful, that's all I can say. Train also says, I'm well aware of the massive legal issues I'll very likely face when trying to get Paw Patrol International Rescue off the ground, but that's not going to stop me from trying. Awesome. Keep trying then. Jack, Takeshi has never worked with Herzog. I just said that as an example of a European director he could work with. Yes. I feel like it could totally work. I think another director he could work, Takeshi Kitano could work with, would be maybe Harmony Korine, because as soon as I said Herzog, I was thinking Harmony Korine could probably find something weird to do with him. Which Godzilla monsters do you think has the coolest design? I don't know, sorry, because I've not seen that many Godzilla projects. I've only seen the stuff that I've reviewed and the 1997 film. So I can't really say, I'm afraid. Tudor, have you seen Hosoda's Belle, or at least heard of it? I know all about Belle. I knew it was coming out last year. So like I've known about it for a long time. But I don't know if I'll get time to watch it. I'm so busy. So insanely busy. Jack, did you see that 2002 Hansel and Gretel film? It has Howie Mandel in it. Yes, I know about that one. I have been interested in seeing it because it might give me ideas for like how I'd approach it. Simple to do. This question is just for Lars. Which horror movie would you reimagine as a romantic comedy? I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know. I can't think of. It'd be kind of nice to see The Shining if it was a romantic comedy. It's just like a family spending time together in a hotel and the married couple get closer. I kind of like that. It's got beautiful views. Yeah, The Shining. I want to go with The Shining. Lister, I've got a funny story about recognizing an actor. I was channel surfing and there was a shot of an actor in shadow and silence, only showing his bum. I instantly knew who it was. I swear I'm not a pervert. I had no idea I recognized him by that. That's brilliant. Train Lover, I'm hoping that ending Red Cliff Railway Tales will allow me to more time to work on more professional projects. I'm working on a novel series at the moment, but the thing of mine I really want to see become reality is a TV show I've created called Rap for Dogs. So let me know what that's all about. I'll be heading off soon, by the way, folks. So whatever questions you have, throw them in chat. And if you're new to tonight's Twitch stream, feel free to follow the channel. And I will read out your name. Jack, you know there's a video that re-edits Dumb and Dumber into a trailer for a award-winning drama. I think I've seen that. Train Lover, I intend for Raptor Dogs to be my first network-supported production. Ooh, which network would you pitch it to? Finally caught up with chat now. There's no more questions. But yeah, update on the Sony Animation sequels ranking video. Hoping to get it up on Friday, weekend the latest. I'm going to be working super hard on it. So it should hopefully be up. It's going to be up this week, basically. It's definitely going to be up this week. And I have a lot of notes this time. One thing I learned from after I did the Don Bluth sequels ranking video was that some films I didn't really have enough notes to work with, and I was kind of like scrambling to find things to talk about. So this time I've just been like, no notes. Simcito, have you ever been on a school field trip? If so, which was your favourite? Yes, we went on lots of school field trips. Trying to remember. I mean, like, most of my school field trips are kind of a blur because that was so long ago. I'm that old. Most of my strongest memories of field trips were for college and university because that wasn't too long ago. So, like, for college, we went to a French film festival, which was kind of fun. Not fun when we went to one screening and it was like the film was in one language and subtitled with another language, and we just sat there for like 5 minutes being like, what do we do? So that was one. I remember going to Camden as well, which was awesome. Camden's really cool. Other field trips. The main place I went on field trips for, whatever I attended. Thank you for following Kira for Life 99. Because of what I studied, and because of the clubs I went to the Bradford Film and Television Museum so many times. I think I've been there maybe 20 times. And that's not me being hyperbolic. I think I have actually gone that many times. Because every time my parents would take me, and then I'd go to a club and they would take me. And then I'd go to a summer filmmaking camp and they would take me. Then I'd go to college and they would take me. University would take me. I've been in there so many times that I know every floor off by heart probably. But my favorite part of that museum is that they have, I don't know if they still have it, but I loved it to bits. So basically, it was like a whole archive of British media that you could watch in private booths, and you go to the reception and you would say like, this is what I want to watch, and they'd be like, okay, here's your booth, go sit down, here's some headphones. Like, I thought that was kind of cute. I really liked that, and you could watch all sorts of things. And whenever foreign students came to my class and they would go on this field trip to this museum, I'd always be like, oh, there's so many British things you should see. We would just go straight to that archive section and be like, watch this. It was really helpful. Train Lover, either ITV or Amazon. I'll definitely aim for ITV. Considering what you're doing. BPAC, what was the first Sony animation film you watched? I saw their first one open season at the cinema. Lucky me. Ooh, probably Cloud Over Chance and Meatballs. I think that was the first one I saw. Cure for Life, no worries. And my friend recommended you to me, BC Pack. Oh, awesome. He's in chat as well. Or she. Jack, another story about that girl was in December 2019. I bought her a present and I was nervous on how to approach, but my friend got me to just go for it. So I gave it her and her face was adorable. I decided to let things play out, so she opened out for a hug, and overall it was a good moment. I remember hearing her friend say it was cute of me doing that. Seriously, if anyone else has like cute stories like that, just give me them. I love cute romantic things. I really do. I love them. I'm the kind of person that like casually watches proposal videos, like or flash mob proposals. I love my romance. Dream Lover, I'm hoping that my Redcliffe Railway Tales finale will convince independent studios that I'm capable of doing more professional film and TV projects if I have the money and resources to do so. Definitely make a demo reel of whatever you've made as well. Cure for Life, have you watched the new Spider-Man No Way Home? I've watched it 4 times. 4 times! Wow. No. I've not had time to go to the cinema, like I said. I've been way too busy. But what I'm hoping to do, when it gets digitally released, I'm going to nominate it for a Twitch watch-along. I'd love to watch it with you all. That'd be so fun, because then you'll all see my reactions to things for the first time. Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. So I have considered that it's something I would nominate for a viewer's choice poll for my Twitch. I think it gets released digitally next month, so look out for that. If you really want to watch along with No Way Home, vote for that. Right, I should definitely head off. I've got 2 or 3 more Sony Animation sequels to watch. I'll just read one more, then I'll leave. Listy, the closest thing to romantic for me was a guy bought me Pokemon merch. He could have got generic flowers or chocolates, but he actually thought about the fact that I'm in sync for Pokemon and got me something I actually enjoy. Ah, so cute. I love romance so much that whenever I'm doing romantic gestures for a partner, like it becomes a project for me, and I work really damn hard on it. Like one of my favorite romantic projects I did for a partner was I made her leave her room, and I'd written on I don't know how many post-it notes, so many post-it notes, things that I loved about her. Put them all on a wall, played her favorite song, and served her favorite drinks. Yeah, I love doing stuff like that. I really do. I love showing my affection in like creative ways, and especially in ways where like it shows that person, look, I know you, I know what you like, and I appreciate you. Right, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I really gotta go. Leslie just came to the stream. I'm sorry. Okay, Leslie, I'll hear you out. Leslie, one question for Leslie, and then I'm off. I know what it's like being late to a stream and missing out, so I empathize. So, like, Leslie, throw me your last question of the night from Leslie. Only Leslie. Oh, Cameron's just got here. Everyone's just standing up. Okay, fine, Cameron, you've got a question as well, then I really gotta leave. I've got a lot of films to get through. So Leslie and Cameron, let me know your questions, and then I gotta go. I really gotta go. I'm probably gonna be up to like 3 or 4 in the morning watching the rest of these sequels. I've only got like Hotel Transylvania 4, Goosebumps 2, and Open Season 4 to watch, and then I'm done. Just those 3 films. Then I'm finished. So yeah, I'm just going to answer Leslie and Cameron. Cameron, what was your first anime? I'm going to be really generic and say Pokemon. I think it was Pokemon. Yeah, I can't think of any earlier than Pokemon. I think. Oh, dang it. Is there any... I might have grown up with like some like 70s or 80s anime. I probably didn't know it was anime when I was a kid, so bear with me. I'm gonna have a look if there's any like old anime that popped up on the screen. Come on. 80s anime. Come on, load. Nope. Series, not films. Series. No, not Wicked City. What are you doing going on Wicked City? I did not watch Wicked City as a child. I watched Wicked City as an adult. Damn it. I'm like a boomer with phones, I swear. I really don't know what I'm doing on this thing. Come on. 80s. I want to see 80s anime series. 80s anime series, if there's anything that I grew up with. Nope. I mean, like, I did grow up with a lot of anime, but I just can't remember which was the first besides Pokemon. Because I also watched Flint the Time Detective, Digimon, Sailor Moon Card Captors, Medabots. I was obsessed with Medabots, Beyblade. So yeah, probably Pokemon. It's a really generic answer, but like in the 90s, it was a lot of kids' first anime. So Leslie, do you have a question before I head off? I really gotta go. So. Unless Leslie's just left. Leslie came. Oh, he's leaving. Okay, bye. I'll get. If Leslie's still here, let me know if you've got a question. Speaking of Beyblade, I had the Beyblade toys as well. Remember, like, the spinning toys? I remember bringing them to school. I remember spinning them at school and going up against people. I think, yeah, the main trends we had were Beyblade, Pokemon trading cards, Yu-Gi-Oh trading cards, Digimon trading cards, the alien, I don't know if anyone knows these, like the alien eggs, they were huge on my playground for a while. Digivices. I was the only kid in my school that had a Digivice, though. Because I think I was the only Digimon fan. Poor Digimon fans. Okay, it doesn't seem like Leslie's still here, so I better head off. Hope you're well. Hope you're happy. Hope you're smiling. Hope you're having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time is for you. And cheerio, folks.